Proverbs 20, where it says the Lord something to the effect of blueness of a womb corrected, something like that.
Right.
That's in Proverbs 20, something like that, man.
Then they said, if you beat your son, keep beating him until he's gonna die. There's a one in Proverbs about that too.
Yeah, so what the Lord is doing is the Lord is also chastising us because he loved us so dearly. And if you have a child that you love so dearly, you're going to chastise that child, because it's not really because you want to destroy the child.
Right.
It's really because you want to see him do better. You want to see him grow and come into a man.
Exactly.
So what the Lord is doing is the Lord is beating us down so that we can be built up the correct way. Like when you go into the military, when you watch those military films, you see it. The sergeant shouts at the soldiers and that, right? And he's doing it so he can break that worldly spirit of those soldiers and build another spirit upon them, which is to fight. Give them the spirit of a warrior, so that when they deal with adversity and they fight, they know how to deal with it, because this what is it? The sergeant was harder than before. You see?
Yeah, there's one in that book where it says a father doesn't laugh with his son often because it builds him up to be a man of folly.
Right.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, what the Lord is doing, the Lord is putting us to chastisement by being under this devil, this Edomite. We're going, brothers.
This is Proverbs 29:7. It says, "Correct thy son, and he shall give thee rest.
Yeah.
Right. Yea, he shall give delight unto thy soul."
Yeah, so we're being corrected. So when the kingdom of heaven is set up, we're going to give the Most High rest. Plus, the Most High is going to put that in with those laws in our inward parts, pursuant to Hebrews, the 8th chapter, and the 10th verse. Come on.
Where's it go? Hold on.
You got the blueness of a wound, didn't it?
Yeah, I got that one.
Train up a child.
You want to get that one?
Yeah, I wanted that one, come on. But if you got something, you can
I
read
got
it.
something, yeah. This is Proverbs 23, verse 13. Withhold not correction from the child, for if thou beatest him with the rod, he shall not die.
Right, if thou beatest him with the rod, he shall not die. So you ain't got to worry about him dying. But and you know, to say this as well, like the way parents beat the kids nowadays, man, it's off, because they're doing it, like, especially these mothers. They just be beating the kids just to be beating them. Because, you know, they get an emotional, you know, thing of it.
They're frustrated and they're taking it out on their children.
They take it out on the children. So that's not what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to beat your child because you're frustrated against it. That's off, man.
Yeah.
But you beat the child if the child's worthy of that. And you do it in because it's not what is it? It's not what you do, is how you do it.
Right.
There was one video clip, man, I got angry.
Yeah.
There was one, the baby, I think she braided her hair.
Yeah.
And she was in the baby's cot, and the mother kept slapping the baby in the face and choking the child. That pissed me off. When I saw that, I was like, that's not correction. That wasn't.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
You remember that one? I sent it to you, brothers.
Yeah, I seen that.
He kept slapping the child, and the child had his hands out trying to stop him. But the baby's weak. He can't stop a grown adult. So he was reaching his hands out and kept slapping the child in the face. I was pissed off when I saw that. You know, these white men are crazy, man.
Yeah,
you know,
that's what they do. That's what they do, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's not how you do it. You're supposed to raise the child in a certain way, man. And correct them in a certain way. You don't have to do all of that, man. Because then what happens is, when you do that to a kid, the kid grows up to become violent. Because you're putting that violent vibration on the child. So it's how it's done, man. Yeah, read on, brothers. I don't mean to keep talking about it. You had something in it.
Yeah, right. This is verse 14. Thou shalt beat him with the rod and shalt deliver his soul from hell.
Yeah. And that's why you do that. That's why you correct the child, so that when the child becomes a man or becomes a woman, that child knows how to conduct themselves, man. You see what I'm saying? So, and the reason why you have, even in amongst these neighborhoods that we're in, amongst Jacob, the reason why you see these kids, I won't call them kids because kid goes back to a goat, a baby goat, you know what I'm saying? But when you see these youths out there smoking weed, smoking blunts, I mean, a part of it is because they're frustrated about life and their upbringing and that, right? That's a part of it. But the real reason why they're doing that is simply because they weren't under the right guidance.
Yeah.
They weren't under no discipline.
I've got
And
a piece
mainly
of
it goes back to having that father figure now.
Right,
Because
exactly.
he's going to set the discipline and reasoning with you. He's going to sit down and talk to you and reason with you. But the mom now, she's just going to beat you till you're blue in the face because she's frustrated.
Yeah, that emotional.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even real. Like when the father disciplines the child, like in that movie Spartan 300, right? It showed you how in the beginning of the movie Spartan 300, when he was a little kid, they showed him when he became a kid, they put him into fights with other kids, and then they strapped him to like a tree, and then they beat his back. So it was more like a disciplined kind of beating.
yeah.
It's controlled.
Yeah.
It was controlled. Like a woman would just frantic, this
Yeah,
emotional,
yeah.
this ventilated. Her intention is not to make the child better. You get what I mean? She's just ventilating.
Punishing him.
Exactly. But now when a man is disciplining his son, the intent is to make him better, stronger.
Right.
You get what I mean?
And that's why when you watch the film 300, the character, he was always rough. He was always ready for, to take over things because he already had that state of mind building in him already. That's why he had a lot of faith because he was already formed in being what he became in the film. You go on, bro.
Hebrews 12, following from what you was reading, 8, it says, but if ye be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers then, I'll start again. But if ye be without chastisement thereof, all are partakers that, then ye are bastards and not sons.
That's a good one. That's a good one. So if you are not under the chastisement of the Most High, then you're a bastard. No one's claiming you.
Right, that's the obligation.
Because I was thinking about, I was just thinking about with all these riots now taking place,
Yeah.
a lot of them are getting taken out, beaten up by Esau, because the Most High has disowned them. They're now.
Yeah, they're not under the guise with the Most High.
They're bastards to the most
Yeah.
They haven't got a father, so now he's just when you giving them up, and then that's what to the enemies. Now the enemies are beating them.
Yeah, that's very true. So with us now, the ones that have awakened to this truth, and this is why every brother has their own personal situations that they go through in their own life because the Lord is what building us up. Now it may seem like, oh man, the Most High, man, he got me in a situation I can't get out of. But that situation is there to teach you a lesson, to show you something, and to make you strong. Because think about it. If we brothers had every single thing, right, to our foot in this world, we wouldn't be out here. There would be no need for us to be diligent in the truth. You see what I'm saying? Because we got families at home, we got the wives, and we got everything. So there wouldn't be no need for this. But the sufferings propel us to come out here even more. When we see like it could be it could even be small things that can have an effect on you, right? Like for example, I like to see the sun out and stuff like that, right? So when I see the sky looking like this propels me to think more. So I got to do this work because we got to get the fuck out of here, And when I see, like for example, when the kid, I think I've sent you the video where there was two baby girls, right? And they was talking about how some woman was putting things in their private parts. You understand? So when you see things like that, that really motivates you to do this work and to hell with this world and seek for the Most High to save us, because we need to be saved. We need to be saved, man.
Yep.
That's all it really takes. Like we can't save ourselves. Try that, it doesn't work. It didn't work. So what Jake needs to do, Jake needs to revert back to the Heavenly Father, man. That's what it is. The only salvation you're going to get is through these scriptures. That's it. Because you can't do it. No, you can't do it. All right? But we can overcome all of this nonsense by this. That's the only way. You're going, brother. You had something,
Going back to what I was saying about the parenting. Ephesians 6:4, and ye fathers provoke not your children to wrath, but bring them up in the nurture.
That's it right there, man. That's an
admonition of the Lord.
That's what I'm talking about.
You're not meant to provoke.
Oh yeah.
If I provoke, like
Yeah.
how we're talking about how the women, how they deal with their daughters, man, and they be out there ventilating their anger and their children.
Yeah.
Because you could provoke, because it's showing everything is balanced. Because it shows that children are supposed to honor your father, that's the law, honor your father, honor your mother. At the same time, parents can be wicked, man.
Yeah, they can overdo it.
Yeah.
Can be wicked, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And sometimes a child's behavior can sometimes be justified.
Yeah.
In kind of rebellion sometimes, because depending on how the parents have been raising up their child, man. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes parents can be merciless to their children, man, especially them West African, them Jakes in West Africa. They can be too hard, man, on their children, man. So you have to do everything in partiality and balance, man. So that's what this true teaches, balance.
Yeah.
So have you finished?
One more. Psalms 127:3, and it says, "Lo, children are an heritage of the Lord, and the fruit of the womb is His reward."
Right. You see, so you're meant to know that your children, that's a gift from the Lord.
Yeah.
Psalms
You
127.
read that again.
Psalms 127:3, "Lo, children are an heritage of the Lord, and the fruit of the womb is His reward."
You see, so the Lord has rewarded you with the fruit of the womb, which is the children. The Lord has given you a child, man. That's a blessing.
That's a blessing. That's a miracle.
That's a blessing. So the Lord gave you a son, man. If you step most families, especially a lot of Jake families, more girls being born than boys, man. So when the Lord gives you a son, man, that's a blessing.
Yeah, that's even better. Yeah.
That's a blessing. So you're not meant to abuse your children, man, because the Lord gave you them.
And it's the Lord's heritage too.
Right.
Especially if it's if the son is the first child, he's holy.
Right, you got exactly. He's firstborn, so he gets first fruit, man. You know what I'm saying? So you're meant to nourish that child. You know what I'm saying? Obviously with discipline, but not overly nurturing your child. You gotta know that balance. You gotta know the balance, man.
Yeah.
Take the piss.
You know what I'm saying? Because the scriptures show you how to raise your sons. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like a flower, if you pour too much water on the flower, it will destroy the shit, man. So the Most High balances it out. You get what I mean?
So pretty much as we going into the women and how they treat the children. Obviously we talk about this, they're under a curse as well. Deuteronomy 28 and 56.
You read that earlier.
You read that?
Yeah, read it again. Read it again.
Deuteronomy 28 and 56, it says, "The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eyes shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter, and toward her young that cometh out from between her feet, and toward her children which she shall bear, for she shall eat them for want of all things, secretly in the siege and straightness wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee in thy gates." Obviously that's going into 70 AD and that, but it still stands today, and that's part of what we talk about with the curse, and that's basically what it is.
Yeah, you saying if you put too much water on the plant, it will kill it. That's why children need that balance.
Yeah.
The husband, the man, man for the masculine energy,
You see?
and the woman to
Perfect.
woman nurture,
Yeah.
women nurture, and men,
Yeah, to bring up children.
as you say, bring that discipline,
Yeah.
masculine energy.
Exactly. But nowadays, these so-called the women of our nation, they don't understand the importance of having a man in the house, man. A lot of them, they think that they can do it by themselves and all that, that whole single, I'm strong and independent, I don't need a man, and that whole bullshit. They don't understand how, they're just doing that for themselves. They're only thinking about self, they don't think of how that's affecting the children, man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of children grow up to be demons, man. Straight up demons, because they never had that strength in the house, man. They got sometimes certain so-called Jake women, they coddle their sons, man.
Yep.
They coddle their sons, and it puts a very feminine kind of spirit in them, man. And they don't need that coddling too much. They need that distance, that kind of cold kind of behavior to make them understand that discipline, that hardness, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So a lot of these Jakes, they come out here and they start hating on actual men
Right.
that are hard, you know what I'm saying? Because he was overly coddled
Some deep
by
shit.
his damn mother, man.
Right.
And she thinking that, I can do it by myself, I don't need the father. So the father, he probably fucked us somewhere, excuse my language. You know what I'm saying? So that's these single parent households, that's destroying the future generation.
Yeah.
So that's why the Most High, a false balance is an abomination. The Most High is all about balance, man. Good and evil. 2 and 2, one against another. That's how the Most High deals, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, a man and a woman, the so-called yin and yang energy. You get what I mean?
Yep.
You always need that balance being pushed into the child, man. You know what I'm saying? Because a woman is not wise.
Right.
A man brings that wisdom.
Right.
Really, a man is meant to be rooted in the fear of Yahawah and his son Yahawashi, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's how real nurturing and parenting really comes from us. Comes through the fear of the Lord, which is his word, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That discipline. Okay? And even when the Most High was nurturing us, how did the Most High nurture us? That's a question. How did the Most High nurture us?
Through his word, through his truth.
Right? Through the law. That's his discipline. That's how the Most High shows love, man. He doesn't show love through this over giving you benefits and love and blessings. He gives you discipline. He says,
wishy-washy.
In fact, let me show it to you.
Come on.
This is where is it? Where are you at? This is right. This is I have to start from verse 12 so you understand it, man. Now listen, this is Wisdom of Solomon chapter 6 verse 12. Wisdom is glorious and never fadeth away. She is easily seen of them that love her and found of such
it's
as
all
seek
about the
her.
wisdom.
Right? She preventeth them that desire her in making herself first known unto them. Right? Whoso seeketh her early shall have no great travail, which is us, we seeketh wisdom early. For he shall find her sitting at his doors.
Yes.
So we found wisdom has come to us.
Wisdom
sitting at our doors.
Yes.
To think therefore upon her is perfection of wisdom. And whoso watcheth for her shall quickly be without care. Because we have no want. You know?
Well,
all we have is the Lord.
Yeah. And that's why the scripture says the truth shall make you free.
Make you free, exactly. For she goeth about seeking such as are worthy of her. Right?
Well, that's why the scriptures also say wisdom shall not enter into
a malicious soul. You know what I'm saying? Showeth herself favorably unto them in the ways and meeteth them in every thought. So we're always thinking about this kingdom. We're always thinking about this truth. We're always thinking about her, man. You know how you think about a woman, you're really on a woman, and you really, if those you brothers know when you really wanted a woman, you're always thinking about her. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes the brother, you turn fool for her, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's like this is the woman that we're always thinking about the kingdom, man. We're always meditating on, you know, the Lord, the deliverance. You know what I'm saying? I always think about the kingdom, man. Every day. Every day I think about the kingdom, man. I think about fucking up the humans, man.
That's right.
Just by myself.
Meditating
Just
terror.
them out, man. You know what I'm saying? I think about telling stories like a little fire. You know, like a little fire, and then all my sons, all my descendants, and I'm telling them stories of how I was in Esau's world, man. How I used to work and how wicked the world was before the kingdom, before this kingdom was set up. I think about telling stories to my sons, man, and my daughters, camped around together in a little fire. You know what I mean?
Brother, you may have too much kids to camp, bro.
Said,
you're going to have a whole, what is it, a whole, like the size of this park, man.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Whole audience is the one.
Yeah, exactly, that's what I was thinking. You know what I'm saying? I think about the planets, man. I think about the planets that we're all going to inhabit. There's going to be so many, because remember, it's going to be for eternity, man.
Right.
So we're forever going to be breeding.
True, brother.
Multiplying.
Fuck them marshmallows.
Multiplying. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Like rabbits.
So we're going to have to inhabit other planets, man. It's going to have to happen.
But that's funny you make that statement, because what did the Lord like his unto? The stars of heaven.
Exactly. That can't be counted, man. You know what I'm saying? So there's no way in hell that we're going to all just inhabit Earth and just keep producing. We're going to have to inhabit these different galaxies, man.
That's
why I said, if the scripture says, if it be marvelous in my eyes, how much more you, man?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So the kingdom's going to be marvelous in the Most High's eyes. So we're going to be building and constructing the kingdom for eternity. So the kingdom's just going to keep growing and growing and growing and growing and growing, man.
Getting better.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Forever, man.
Listen, as we speak right now, the universe starts growing at the moment.
Yeah, so
Wait
great
for it to be inhabited.
that Yahawashi, it was 2,000 years ago, Yah said, I know I go to prepare a place for you.
Ooh,
That was 2,000 years
come on,
ago.
brother, come on.
So that's how long Yahawashi spent in preparing the kingdom
Wow,
for us, man.
come on, Yahawashi.
And think about all the things that's happened since then.
Yep,
From then.
every
That's
brother.
a long ass time. Okay? We're talking about 2 days in the eyes of the Most High. Okay? So I'm constantly thinking about these things, man.
Never in one.
Every day I'm thinking, even when I'm working, I'm driving my pen, I'm thinking about the kingdom, bro. You know what I'm saying? When I'm listening to my music, I'm thinking about the kingdom. I'm thinking about prophesying, man. You know? Because when we're prophesying, it's like being of a valiant spirit, man. We're like a man of war.
Right.
Battlefield, and you're prophesying and destroying these demons, man. On a spiritual level. So I'm even meditating on that. I'm meditating on Yahawashi. And I think Yahawashi, he's gonna be very like, he's gonna be doing his thing, man. Because he's gonna know the kingdom is his. And he's not gonna be boasting like that, you know. He's gonna be more enjoying his kingdom, man.
But you know what though?
You know what I'm saying? That's what I think. I could be wrong, but that's
No,
what I
you
think
may be
when I
right.
think of Yahawashi. I think he's just gonna be sitting down enjoying his wine by himself,
He's going to
meditating. Yeah, he's exactly humble.
And I want to explain why, because you know when you have too much, right? You know when you are the man. You don't have to boast.
You don't have to boast.
Right.
Exactly.
Because you only boast when you ain't really got it.
You ain't
Yep.
really
To
You're
show
insecure.
off.
Exactly.
Exactly, to show off others that you do got it.
Right.
Because people are opposite in some cases, right? Like people will like for example, if you take a guy that can fight, that can break your neck for real.
Yeah.
He's going to try to stay out of trouble. He's not going to want really to cause no trouble. But the guy that can't fight, he's this big and tough guy.
Yeah, exactly. Real like alphas are actually quite peaceful, man.
Yeah.
We was talking about that before, weren't we?
But the real power
Spirit.
hides itself, man. Because
Yeah.
the scripture
Yeah.
says, thou art a power which hides itself.
That's in Isaiah 45. Yeah, that was a part, and it says in Timothy, they're the only invisible and eternal. Okay? The Most High is invisible. Okay? So he has that power. But anyway, let's talk about this. Let me read it.
And on
It says,
top of
what I
that
say?
too, before you read, brother, top of that, the scripture says, greater thou art, you should make you, brother.
Exactly. He's gonna be humble.
He's
He's
gonna
gonna
be
be
real
humble,
humble,
man. He's gonna be humble, man. He's gonna have to be. You know what I'm saying? That's why I always think of Yahawashi. Yahawashi,
Wash the disciples' feet.
yeah, exactly.
Yes. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So in the kingdom, I was gonna think Yahawashi he's just gonna be doing his thing, man. On a humble level. You know what I mean? You know, because we all know the kingdom is his. So I think it even says in the Ecclesiasticus that when a man has a feast, you're not meant to boast yourself at the feast. You're meant to like be humble. When you're at a feast and you've invited guests, you're not supposed to boast and be chauvinistic at your own feast. You're meant to actually take a seat and just be humble and let your guests, let them be, be loud and everything like that. So the kingdom is going to be the feast. We're going to be eating.
Like
We're going to be eating.
It can shake like you use that term. I'm eating.
Yeah, we're all going to be eating. And at the feast, the kingdom, Yahawashi is going to take a seat, and he's already earned his respect. So he doesn't need to be trying to earn his respect. He's already earned it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He said that Yahawashi just going to be sitting there drinking his wine. He said that at the Passover. He said, this cup, I won't drink
Right,
with you now. I'm going to drink it with you in the kingdom.
Exactly.
Right.
Yep.
You get what I mean? He's going to find the best wine. He might be in the field like just planting, you know what I'm saying? Humbly. You know what I'm saying? And get a little glass, a golden glass maybe, and just sip the wine by himself, man. Probably under an oak tree or something like that.
While his guests start partying.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying?
That was his character on the earth, though. He used to tell the disciples, you guys go over there, I'm going to meet you later, man.
Yeah.
You know, he used to chill by
Thanos.
himself sometimes.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. You know? But let me just finish this. This is let me read it again. For she goeth about seeking such as are worthy of her, showeth herself favourably unto them in the ways, and meeteth them in every thought. As I was saying, we think about this all the time, right?
And you know the one, it's a lot here, brother, but I want to read a scripture because you said something to the effect of how, there's going to be so much Israelites on the planet. Because we also got to keep in mind also is that the Lord is going to enlarge the earth. And I want to show this in the scripture. Yeah,
Trust me, brother.
Okay, that's what I was thinking that as well.
Deep.
Come on.
Right, this is
Just real quick.
the book of Isaiah chapter 54, starting from 2.
Yeah.
It says, enlarge the place of thy tent,
Wow.
and let them stretch forth the curtains of thine habitation.
Right, and stretch forth the curtains of thy habitation. So the Lord is what are we inhabiting? We're inhabiting the earth. That's what we can do, right? So the Lord is going to enlarge the planet. That's what that goes into. He's going to make it much more larger in size, which he can, because when you look at the earth, it's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Amongst the galaxy,
Yeah.
the highest galaxy. So the Lord can actually make it grow.
Yeah, he would have to do that.
Yeah.
We're going to continue for eternally.
Yeah.
Bringing forth children, that he will have to, and amongst the other planets as well, he will still have to do that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you're going. Yeah, one last one.
It says, spare not, lengthen thy cords,
You see?
and strengthen thy stakes.
So what that means is that the earth is going to become stronger again. Because when you read the second Ezra, what is it?
What was
I
that,
think it's
Isaiah
the fifth chapter.
52?
Oh man,
Second Ezra 6:54.
I was just reading.
no, not that. But no, it's not that one. If you don't mind the one, if you don't mind, if I can go into that, because you already had something. I want to go into how the Lord.
I could finish it. Man, no, go, do what you're doing. Do it.
I tell you what, you finish it, come. Because it's going. I think it's going to be quite.
I would change the subject, kind of. Because we're going into something else. But let me just finish this. And meeteth them in every thought, right? For the very true beginning of her is the desire of discipline, and the care of discipline is love, right? And love is the keeping of her laws, and giving heed unto her laws is the assurance of incorruption. And incorruption maketh us near unto God. Therefore the desire of wisdom bringeth to a kingdom, right? But the point is, I said, for the very true beginning of her is the desire of discipline. And the care of discipline is love. So, what did it say? It said, love is the keeping of the commandments, right? It tells you that in John. And it says, for the very true desire of discipline is what it says. It says, for the very true beginning of her is desire of discipline. So when the Most High shows his love towards us, his sons, his children, his people, what does he do? He gave us laws. Okay? That's the discipline. That's how the Lord disciplined us, man. Letting us know there's certain things you can do, there's certain things you must not do, man. Because if you do it, there's the curses and death lie at the door. Alright? So the Lord gave us that discipline. That was his love. That's how you nurture somebody. You give them two options, this or that, man. Alright? And the Lord, through time and through the ages of the world, man, he basically schooled us in life, man. He said, listen, there's only one way to live, and this is by the law. That's the blueprint. That's how you live life. There's only one way to live life, and this is by the laws. And if you disobey that and go about doing what you want to do, death lies at the door. And we had to learn that the hard way.
Yeah.
And that was the discipline. That was the love. That's how the Most High nurtured us. That's how he raised us up. Okay? And then we learned that we can't do what is perfect because we're not perfect. So that was what we learned through the first covenant. That the first covenant was our fault. That we needed a better covenant. A covenant where we would be made perfect to keep that which is perfect, which is the law. Okay? So we need perfect bodies. That's what the first covenant taught us.
Right.
That we can't keep it perfectly because we're not perfect. We're subject to sin. So it's impossible. So we needed Yahawashi to blot out the sins of the first covenant by dying on the cross, by shedding his blood. The blood will be upon us, okay? Exempting us from judgment.
It's kind of like it's like your brother. It's kind of like you know what happened during the time of Moses, where Moses commanded the children of Israel to put the blood on the doorposts, so that wouldn't exempt them from the judgment. Like Yahawashi's blood is exempting us from judgment.
That's exactly what we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So by our belief in that sacrifice, and us accepting that sacrifice for our sins, we might be delivered from the destruction to come. Okay? We're exempted from that. We've overcame that judgment. Okay? That's right. So it all starts with that love, man, that love of the Most High, which he gave that, showed that love through the keeping of the laws, man. Alright? So that's wanted to say that. Oh yeah, I wanted to bring this out, this last little thing. This is 2 Maccabees, chapter 6, verse 12. Now I beseech thee, those that read this book, that they be not discouraged for these calamities. Right? But that they judge those punishments not to be for destruction, but for a chastening of our nation.
Wow.
Going into how, you know how we're talking about how a father chastens his son, so to save his soul from death, from hell. And whosoever the Lord loveth, he chasteneth them. So when the Lord chastened us, he didn't chasten us for our destruction.
Oh, because of love.
Like how a woman does. A woman does that. A woman chastens you. She doesn't give a fuck at this point. She'll abort you. Because she's emotional. She's trying to kill you at this point. She's trying to kill her child.
But what, like you said, the Lord doesn't chastise us to destroy us. What does it say in Proverbs?
Oh, that's
that when
3 and 12.
When you used to run on your son,
It's not gonna kill him. So the Lord did it. What did it say? It said, but for a chastening, it says, but that they judge not these punishments not to be for destruction, but for a chastening of our nation. Because the Most High loves us, man. He loves us very much. Very, very much, man. Okay? So that's why he will do these things and show us hard things. To say, you must do it the right way. Because if you don't, these are the things that will happen.
Yep.
There's a certain way things are supposed to be done. You can't just gallivant and go around doing what you want.
Right.
Life doesn't work that way. You know what I'm saying? That's almost like, I feel like that's a situation sometimes you're in with a woman. You know, sometimes you got to discipline a woman. Because a woman want to do what she wants. They say, no, you ain't going to do the way, however you want with me. You going to do the right thing or you going to get on, man. Plain and simple.
Well,
and they don't like that. They don't like that discipline.
Right.
Alright? Because they're like you equate them to like little children.
Right.
But as a man, you find yourself like in a parent position. You might like the woman, but at the same time, you know you got to be disciplined with her. You know what I'm saying? So that's like the Most High and us. You get what I mean? The Most High loves us very much, man. Okay?
That's right. That's right.